Improving the pay future for employees who have maxed out in their pay range. Here's a common enough situation. An employee asks his boss, "Despite a great rating, why do I get such a low pay increase?" And the boss replies, "That's because you're already at the maximum of your pay range. This is the best I could do." Since both of them are right, it presents us with a grey problem. So let's get to the bottom of it, to its black and white. It soon becomes clear that the matter revolves around the pay range of a job, which quite simply spreads from the appropriate pay for a novice to the appropriate pay for an expert. Let's take an example. Take any amount as the pay for a novice doing the job. If you think that it takes 5 years for him to progress to being an expert, and during this time, the projected year-on-year pay increase is 10%, you will calculate that the novice's salary grows by about 60% in this time that he takes to become an expert. 60% is therefore the appropriate pay range for the job. But once established, the pay range does not remain static. Linking pay increases to performance ratings causes the pay range to expand year on year. It expands slowly at first and then faster and faster as the consistent high performers overtake others and bunch up at higher pay points in the range. An expanding pay range presents us with 3 problems. 1. It increases the pay of the job and therefore payroll costs. 2. It increases the time it takes aspiring employees to move from novice pay to expert pay. And 3. The expanding pay range catches up with and increasingly overlaps with the pay range of the next higher job level, which means that people at different levels get similar pay. It is for this reason that organizations seek to slow down the expansion of the pay range. Let's take a few minutes and see how, and also if we could do something that satisfies the boss and the maxed out employee just a little bit more. Let's say 30 people in the same job level have a total pay of 4 million and an average pay of 130,000. These here are the average pay at different ratings, and these are the number of people in each pay zone vis-a-vis the market. This is how their rating distribution looks, and this is how our pay increase budget is allocated across ratings. Excellent folks get the most, good people get proportionately lesser, and so on. If our pay increase budget is 10%, the following become our pay increases by rating. This is the mechanism of differentiated increases that causes the pay range to expand. As discussed before, organizations devise the following method to control the expansion. Along with the differentiation by rating, a simultaneous differentiation by pay zone is also applied. So that those with the worst rating and the highest current pay get the least, and those with the best rating and the lowest current pay get the most. These people here get the same increase as was earlier determined, but these people who are more than 30% below target get a 30% increase to bring them close to target. To balance it out in the grid, these maxed out high performers here get a 4.6% increase. By doing this, the pay range expansion is contained for sure, but people with the same rating get very different absolute pay increases. And at 4.6%, the maxed out people have a reason to complain. The maxed out folks are consistent good performers and experts, while the people here are good but not yet experts. And that is why it is necessary to do a bit better. At target pay, the increases are those that were determined earlier. At 10 to 30% below target pay, the increase is 20% more than that at target pay. At 30 to 50% below target pay, the increase is 40% more than that at target pay. And similarly, the already expensive folks get 20% less and 40% less increase than that at target pay. We use this method to complete the grid. Notice though that we are not saying those at 40% less pay get 40% absolute increase. We are saying instead that those at 40% less pay currently get 40% more than the at target increase. That's the difference. Besides the obvious advantage of being able to provide a better increase to the maxed out folks, this method also provides a near equal absolute increase to people with the same rating. We get both these advantages with a very slight compromise to the expansion of the pay range. One problem remains. The maxed out high performers complain that many of their peers with lower ratings have been given higher increases. If one wishes, some more increase can be provided to these people by manually increasing the differentiation between the excellent raters in the grid and then repeating the process with the good raters. This part of the grid can be left as it is. This last manual step further loosens the control on the expansion of the pay range and therefore should be considered only when there are many maxed out people and the problem of their retention and motivation is acute. To conclude this exercise, one could resort to this last bit of cheekiness. To some extent, we've solved the problem of peer comparison and of course stayed within budget. To achieve what we set out to do, we allowed the pay range to expand. So long as the expansion was limited, its associated problems also stayed under control. It is when we employed the manual tinkering that the range expansion brought back with it the three associated problems. If the problem of pay range overlap isn't imminent, the remaining problems of the increase in the pay of the job and of the increase in the time taken to move from novice to expert need our attention. These two problems would get solved if the maxed out high performers were to break the law of diminishing returns and give back a correspondingly higher job value to the organization. Then the increase in the pay range would get justified in two ways. One, if the pay of the job has increased, then so has its job value. Two, if it now takes longer to progress to expert, that's because there is a higher level of expertise plus that is associated with the job. It's only fair that the benefit of higher increases should come along with an obligation and a risk. An obligation to perform with higher level objectives that take one to the next level, and the risk of getting rated only in comparison with similarly expensive and expert peers. Some more increase and the employee should be happy. Some more value and the boss should be happy. Get into its black and white, and the pay future for maxed out employees doesn't look so grey anymore. After all, if organizations can perform beyond their point of expertise, then so can their people. Reach us at traininggrey.com for your grey HR and greying workforce issues.